y dos, y dos, una, y dos, una, y dos.
Hello and welcome to Cortesnyc Livestream, the podcast.
This show broadcasts out of New York City.
We're your hosts, Cortesnyc,
And Carla de Puerto Rico.
and on this show we talk about art, creativity, city life from a Latino perspective. I'm a visual artist,
And I'm a singer.
and this is episode 97, COVID Recap.
As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Spotify, and on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Don't forget to check out my online store, cortesnyc.bigcartel.com. I actually have some new canvas prints that I've been selling. I have a few limited available, so please log on, check it out, and go support your favorite artists.
And also, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel and SoundCloud, where you can find my new original single, Una Vez Más.
And what's your handle?
Carla de Puerto Rico.
That's important. All right, guys. Special shout out to all the followers, all the supporters. Thank you guys for hanging in there. So many episodes in. And here's another one for you guys. Oh, yeah. Back at it.
Feel the beat.
Back at it.
Feel the beat.
You haven't heard these beats in a while, huh? It
Yeah.
feels new to you.
Yeah. Feels
See?
like a radio station.
It's like you're back home. You're back home.
Yep.
All right. So, episode 97, COVID recap. How many months we've been in COVID now?
6 months.
6 months.
Almost 7, yeah.
7 months. 8 years locked down.
It feels like 8 years.
8 years locked down. 13 years a slave, man. I'm feeling crazy right now. I'm feeling nuts. I've already had my ups, my downs, my back up and my back down already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having those in the middle of the night crazy
dreams.
paranoia dreams of like, yo, is this really life? Like, is this really happening? Yeah, I'm going through all of it, man. I'm sure a lot of you out there also are going through all this stuff.
Yeah, this has been definitely a roller coaster
Yeah,
of emotions
it's
for
been-
all of us.
It's been a roller coaster ride. You know, we started off really optimistic. We started off really like, you know,
We're
keeping
gonna
our-
take advantage of this time. We're gonna make the most of it. This is the plan. Let's get the schedule going. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, we were like really we jumped into this thing throwing punches, and
Yeah.
we realized we weren't punching at anything. We're just punching
Yeah.
at ourselves, and we're just kind of waiting it out. You know, I guess I want to start by saying, yeah, you hit it right, the nail on the head right there. You just went right at it. Everybody, when we walked into this COVID thing, when we got dragged into it, we all kind of had ideas of what we were going to do with all this time and this
Yeah.
new world that we were entering.
Yeah.
And I feel like we all just want to go back to the normal. And
Although we know that the normal wasn't really what we needed, you know?
Exactly.
Which is the worst.
Man, you're like full of wisdom right now, man. You took a break and it was needed. You took a long hiatus and it was needed.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. This
Like-
COVID thing is making you rethink what your normal was, and was it even beneficial to you?
Yeah, because that's the crazy thing. Like, you have all this time, but you really don't because you have to work, right? So you don't have that much time. And then, yeah, you realize, well, what I was doing before is not even great. Like, what is it that we were doing before?
Seriously, man.
And I guess maybe that's also the roller coaster of emotion is kind of like, well, now I have time, but I don't. But what I was doing before wasn't great. So what's the point?
Yeah,
It's
man.
a lot of, like questioning and things.
And you know what? It's not to say that what we were doing before wasn't great, meaning like life sucked or anything like that, because, you know,
No, I
life was
mean,
good.
yeah.
But 6 months has flown by,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the time period and and how you spend your time becomes more obvious, and how you spent your time.
Mm-hmm.
Realizing that what you were spending your time in, was it really where you wanted to be?
Your time, your money,
Everything.
your everything.
Everything, man. Your time, your money. Yeah, man, it's crazy. So I mean, I guess we could do a little recap on what we've been doing, you know, since the last episode. It's been a while now. It's been, I think, a couple of months.
Yeah.
But number one, we've been hanging in there. We've been staying safe. We have been staying indoors. We started to kind of peak out about a month ago. We started doing a little more like going out and kind of like
Outdoor
venturing out. Yeah,
restaurants.
still, social distancing, keeping the masks on and all that.
Yeah.
But just trying to get out and trying to be social again. Then we ended up, fortunately, with an opportunity to play music at a cafe, a local cafe here in Astoria, Queens. And it was actually really good. We were doing it every Thursday.
We did it for like 2 months, almost 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a little tip jar. We were getting tips. But I mean, the big benefit out of it, I'll tell you right now, was not the tips or any of that nonsense. The big benefit was the opportunity to socialize, the opportunity to experiment with our music a little further in a live setting.
Yeah. The learning experience of all of it, like the preparation before you go to a live performance, how much you have to rehearse, how much do you need, because we didn't realize that you need a DJ set of music, that you need your music to be set, that you need your equipment, because obviously some cafes are equipped with maybe a speaker and microphone, stuff like that. This cafe was not.
Yeah.
So we needed to have our speaker, our mixer, our microphones. It was definitely a learning experience more than anything.
And then, I mean, on top of that, just being that we're, involved in social media,
right?
Knowing that you want to take pictures, you want to do flyers, you want to promote, you want to do all these things.
Yeah.
I'm piled on top of it. In a way, it kind of felt like it became a new podcast for us because it became a weekly thing. We were doing it every Thursday. And we were preparing for it. And we had to do a lot of preparation the day of. And the recovery the next day was there, know. So there was a lot of elements that made it like it replaced the podcasting for a minute. Not to say that we didn't want to go back to record, but
it took time. That's what it was. It was like I guess we didn't realize how much time it was gonna take.
Yeah.
And more in my case, like with the rehearsals,
absolutely.
Having a play set of songs that you're gonna sing, because I didn't want it to do something random, because if I do that, then there's gonna come a point where I don't know what I'm gonna sing next. So I wanted to have my list of songs, rehearse them before. Then we also had some original songs and some songs from my Otras Versiones album. So we kind of did something where we mix like classic karaoke songs. I was singing mainly in Spanish.
Yeah.
So we mixed classic karaoke songs with our original music. And it was great because people were reacting, because we did the play set the way we did it. People were reacting to the originals as if it was like a classic.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a great experience.
And the big positives, just hearing. I mean, you actually did get the audience's attention. People started reacting and hearing actual live reaction to the music that we're putting out and the mixes that you're making and all that. I think that was really positive, and it was reassuring that we're on the right track.
Yeah, that we're doing something good, and that people are enjoying it. Because sometimes when you do it for online, for YouTube, and for social media, you don't really know what's people's reactions.
Right.
So doing it live, we could see that people were, I don't know, at least, looking and paying attention, at least clapping, dancing, whatever they would feel like it. But
sometimes when you do music for yourself, or you do it, like you said, just for online audience, online audience is a mixed bag of people. You have some haters that are clicking and viewing and commenting, but they're still hating.
Right.
But at least in the live setting, you can tell what's entertaining and what's not. And you forget sometimes that music and performance, the performance is part of music, and performance is entertainment.
Yeah.
And that you're there to entertain, and you want to make it entertaining.
Yeah.
So that was all really positive. I mean, I'll tell you the truth, all my fans out there, my personal fans that are into my graffiti black books and my graffiti videos, I know I've been on a hiatus. I've been on the low. I know a lot of you are like tuning in, trying to look for like, well, are you doing any new graph? What are you doing? And I feel like lately, for this past year, man, like all these other things have been wrapping me up. And then now I feel like your music projects are becoming the main event right now, which is totally fine. I mean, I'm cool with that. I just know I'm building up I'm building up momentum that when I go back to my art, I'm going to come back with a different perspective, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But I think right now I didn't realize how much this live performance stuff, the recording music, recording your original stuff that you're working on now.
Yeah.
All these music videos that we've been working on. I didn't realize how much energy it was going to take and how much time it was going to take.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth it, and I think I'm fine with it. You know, I've come to a point with my work that I know I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's exciting to see your stuff, you know, taking flight. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I don't know. I've thought about the same thing, kind of like, oh my God, you know, Cortez, you need to do your art as well. But I think it's the process, you know. Like this is the time we have to make music, because usually during the summers we're painting, right?
Yep.
So because of everything that's been happening, we are at home. So I guess it was like the perfect storm for us to focus on music.
Yeah.
And I feel like both worlds are mixing, because we can see still a little bit of your art in the video shoots, in the graphics, in the layering, everything. So
yeah, I mean the videos, I'm definitely getting involved. A lot. Like I'm investing. I'm not just shooting videos. I'm really like thinking it through, and I'm really investing my creativity into what we're doing.
Creative direction.
Yeah, with the shots and the editing and all that. So that's really involving, and that's perfectly fine with me. So other things that we can catch up on, man.
But let's talk about the canvas and the art that you have been doing.
Yes. So
during this time, because you did do some art, because at the beginning of the quarantine he was doing art. But you know, 6 months had passed, so that was like 3 months ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm at a place where I can do something really exciting and amazing, and it seems like no big deal.
Yeah,
but,
one of them actually got reposted, and people keep sharing it, and people keep commenting about it. So
I a couple of months ago, speaking about visual art, a couple of months ago, I did in Procreate on my iPad, I did some digital art pieces. I was very moved by all the stuff that was happening with the police brutality and the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, I felt very strongly about it. I still feel very strongly about it. That, you know, to this day, I still feel, you know, Black Lives Matter, even when Black lives are not dying.
Yeah.
You know, Black Lives Matter when they're living. Black Lives Matter when they're happy. Black Lives Matter, you know, all the time. They don't matter just when they're in the news.
Yeah.
And at that moment in time, in the news and media and everything all around us, like it was just happening left and right, where we were just hearing reports about so much brutality happening.
Yeah, I think we actually talked about it in a previous episode. Yeah,
exactly. And it was really weighing on me, and I really felt like this like an urge to like create something. So I made this I think I did like 6 images, black book images, you know, some graffiti with some characters and some visualization. And I did it in the iPad. And after I completed them, I saw people were really reacting to them. People liked them, you know, a lot of reposts and all that stuff. And then I figured, well, you know, I had a friend who had, I'll give him a shout out, DJ Diz1. DJ Diz1. He had printed up some of my old digital art on canvas, and he gave me that idea, and I was like, yo, maybe I should print this stuff on canvas. I wonder if anybody would be interested.
Yeah.
And yeah, I looked it up, and the price was pretty decent, so I figured I could do a limited run. So I did a run of 10 canvases, 10 prints of the one image, and they printed beautifully. They look great on canvas.
Yeah, look awesome.
The print on canvas, the wood is thick. It's like 1.5 inches thick, so it's a nice sturdy frame. And I printed it on canvas, and I sold it, and I sold a bunch of them. I still have a few left. I think I still have 4 left. I did a hieroglyphics kind of theme.
Yeah.
Where I did I did like a Trump image, and I did like an image of like police and I lined up like the way that hieroglyphics line up multiples of figures, like repeat figures. So I lined up different images of police brutality, different images of victims, and I did an image of Trump and Melania, and I put all this stuff in a hieroglyphic kind of look. So, and I put a little graffiti on top, so that it kind of feels like hieroglyphics, but it's not. But it feels like modern, and it feels like graffiti. And I think it looked great. So, I mean, if you guys want to check that out, go to my Instagram, Cortez NYC. That's Cortez with an S, NYC. Go to my Instagram, check it out. You'll see it on there. It's my latest big post. Hieroglyphics is the image. But I think like that was a big thing that I just kind of glossed over. I kind of did it. I sold the canvases and I was like, all right. And I just kept going. But under normal circumstances, maybe I would have been more focused on it.
Right.
But yeah, things have just been flying by.
But maybe stickers might come.
Yeah, I might consider doing more stickers or something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, like right now, the way things are, especially with the day work and all that, my mind is just like being pulled around a little bit. So it's kind of hard to feel so. How can I say the word? I don't want to say committed, but I like so incentivized, let's say, like just motivated to like push, the art. I just feel like I want to do it when I feel it.
Right.
And when I'm not feeling it, I just want to let it sit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't feel motivated to just push right now. I feel very like, for my personal art, I just feel very like I just want to enjoy it. Right. It's like the few things that I have that are mine right now, and when I have that week that I'm gonna feel really inspired, then I want to really go at it hard. And then I want to pull back, and I don't want to worry about like it's like a product, or it's like I gotta push it, or I gotta get it out there. I gotta get it out. Like I'm not feeling like that right now.
Yeah.
I think with the music, it's giving me the opportunity, working with you with your music, it's giving me the opportunity to do something that is in the middle. That is like it has a deadline, but at the same time I can be creative, but it's not my personal voice in it. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I just think my visual art, I just feel like I don't have that personal space right now. Maybe because I'm in this same physical space all day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's making me feel a little weird.
Yeah.
I saw Mirrors and a few other people have been painting. They've been out painting, and I've been motivated to think about that, but I don't know. I don't have it. Something's missing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we're here making music. We're here doing these things. We're here working, living our best life. Thank God my job is still supporting me.
Yeah.
We're still functioning.
Back at work.
Yeah, you're still working. You're good. You're traveling on a train. What's the train commuting looking like?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not as crowded as it was before. I think at the beginning, obviously, there was a lot of less people in the city. Now it's starting to get a little bit more congested, but not crowded like before. Like there were so many people in the train that you could barely move. Never like that. But it still feels a little bit surreal that now, like, this is our normal. People are walking with masks, and you gotta wear a mask at work, and you still have to interact with people and, do your job.
Yeah.
As if times have not passed or whatever. So yeah, has definitely been an adjustment to how we see our reality and how to react to it, right? How to continue living with this new reality.
I mean, we saw I miss going to the movies because we used to go to the movies a lot. That's a huge thing. And we got to watch the Bill and Ted's movie with Mr. Ark over a Zoom chat. Yeah. And that was like the first time of like kind of giving in and saying, you know what, we're going to have to do it this way, so fuck it.
Pay for it.
Yeah, pay for the movie, and we're going to watch it, and we're going to enjoy it like as if we're in the movie theater. And it was fun. I think the movie made it fun. It was a good movie. It was fun. It was
a light-hearted
movie.
movie.
But like I think that helped. But I think that was like another little milestone of like acceptance that we're in this new situation. I think going back to work, people for a while in the office were talking about, the upper management was talking about having to go back to the office. That lingered for a little while, and then it just kind of died down and they stopped talking about it. It's still mentioned here and there, but for the most part, everybody's kind of just waiting for I don't know whether they're waiting for a vaccine or they're waiting for numbers to go down. I don't know what they're waiting for, but it died down. Like, people stopped talking about going back to the office.
I mean, there's people saying that there's going to be a new wave of the virus now in the fall because of the weather. And maybe that's why maybe companies are taking their time saying, you know what, if it's going to be a new wave, why are we going to make people come back to the office, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, who knows? We just have to keep being positive and taking care of ourselves, because if it's something that we have learned is that nobody's going to take care of yourself but yourself.
And I think for the last couple of minutes of the art talk here, I'm going to emphasize one thing. Mental health, and I'm sure that I've mentioned this early in this podcast. If you go back to episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, like the early episodes, about either 1 to 10, somewhere in there, I talked about mental health and being focused and keeping your mind in a stable place. Nobody's Superman. We don't have superpowers. I also fall victim to, like, you know, succumbing to, like, my own weaknesses and my own distractions and insecurities. But for the artists out there, man, just be aware of your mental health. Realize that it's important for creativity. It's important to have a good state of mind to be able to create, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't express stuff to others. It's very difficult to communicate to others effectively. You know, you have to be in the best place possible mentally and emotionally in order to be able to create and to create new ideas and to even want to create new ideas. So much of what's happened in this past 6 months at work, where we're being kind of asked to kind of work through this situation and invent new ideas and come up with new things out of thin air, and ignore what's happening around us in our lives, financially and physically and emotionally.
Right.
You know, it takes a toll on creative people. And I remember when we first went into this COVID situation, we all kind of were like, well, you know, everybody needs artists. They're going to appreciate artists now more than ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they really do. I think they're just taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it's like an overuse. Like,
the overuse of art is like, oh yeah, we have art. Give us art.
Right. And we don't even need it. We don't even know where we're going to use it, but just give it away.
Give us more art. So I just want to say, look, just if you're an artist out there, you know, there's nothing wrong with admitting that things are affecting you. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you need downtime to kind of re-emerge again, to kind of re-explore what really matters. And I think the best art is fueled by what matters. What matters to you is what's going to fuel your best art. Yeah. And right now is a good time to kind of, if you've extended yourself during these past 6 months that we've been in, it's a good time for you to kind of recharge and look around. We're entering a new season. You know, that's always a good time for rebirth. I just hope that these words hit you guys out there in a good place, that you guys take them in and take it as a little helpful advice. That's all. All right, guys. Thank you.
Si no estás haciendo todo igual, no tiene ningún color el paso que hace. Separa menos tiempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, culture talk.
All right.
Carla, culture talk. We're going to talk about some of the new music that we've been coming across, some of the new media we've been coming across. Since these 6 months of COVID, people have been releasing new music. It's actually been really helpful to hear some new things, especially from older artists. Some examples, specifically in Latin music, Gloria Estefan released a new album, which was kind of surprised us. It was a Cuban-based, right? A Cuban theme?
No, Brazilian.
Oh, Brazilian theme.
Yeah. It's basically cover songs of her own songs with Brazilian rhythms.
Right. Who else? Grupo Nietzsche, the classic group, Grupo Nietzsche, the salsa group from Colombia. They came out with new music. They have a new album, 40 years anniversary.
Yeah, celebration.
And they've got new singles out and all that, new videos.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's different. And I mean, even TV shows on Netflix, new seasons have come out of different things that have been actually really good. Like, thank God there's new stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
One Day at a Time. I mean, it wasn't on Netflix, but they did came out. They had an episode that it was during COVID, and they had to do an animation for it. So yeah.
I'm thinking also Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
They came out with a new season. But it's been good to see these things. Actually, big song right now, WAP. Was it?
Oh yeah. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion came with the WAP.
Wet ass pussy. That hit everybody real big, right?
Yeah.
But it's been actually cool to like find new music or find new media during this time. It helps. It helps to kind of make you feel like, all right, things are still happening.
Things keep moving. They're still moving. Yeah.
So one of our old favorite artists from Colombia, Carlos Vives, came out with a new album that we came across accidentally. We were like, oh shit, he's got a new album.
Yeah.
And we came across it, and we just been running it whenever we are looking for a place to play music. We just play that. When we were in Cafe Ole, we were using it. We were using some of his tracks as break music. In between takes, we were doing that.
Yeah.
But it was actually really good. So some of you people out there who might not know who Carlos Vives is, his name is Carlos Vives. Vives like life, or like alive. And Carlos Vives is an old Colombian musician. He is most famous. Most of you might know him from his famous song that you'll hear in every Latin party. That that little melody, you might recognize it even if you don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But that's La Gota Fría. But he's been around for a long time. I mean, he really hit big in the 90s. That's when he really had his big album and his big opportunity with he was an actor, and he became the lead in a soap opera, a Colombian soap opera that was about a musician, and that made him shine as a musician.
Right.
He already had music in his background, but that made him really come out. So he came out with a new album. So I'll give you guys a little bit of his bio, just really quick little things, and then Carlo will walk you through the new album.
Yeah.
Carlos Vives was born Carlos Alberto Vives Restrepo. He was born in 1961. He's a Colombian singer, songwriter, actor. He was obviously born in Colombia. He moved to Bogota. Bogota is the capital, so he went there to kind of get more exposure.
Yeah.
Because he's from a smaller town. He started in telenovelas, in soap operas. He was acting. He was doing a lot of things in the 80s, but it was only and he was also into apparently he was into rock music back then. But it was only until 1991 when he got his big role in the novela called Escalona, which was the name of the author, the musician author that he was a biography of the guy. But it was fantasy, but it was still like based on the guy.
Yeah.
And that opened him up to releasing his first album called Clásicos de la Provincia in 93. That's where you have La Gota Fría and a few other songs that made him the big star that he became in Latin America, until eventually, throughout his career, becoming a world music star.
Yeah.
To the level of Shakira and beyond.
Yeah.
Because he's done music with everybody in all different places around the world. He's had a whole bunch of albums.
I remember La Tierra del Olvido.
La Tierra del Olvido, El Amor de mi Tierra, Déjame Entrar, El Rock de mi Pueblo, Los Clásicos de la Provincia 2. He's done a lot. He's been in different relationships, blah, 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 all that gossip and all that Wikipedia gives you. But if you look at his discography, his discography is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like about 17, 18 albums deep, all the way up to 2020. 2020, now he just released a new album called Cumbiana. Cumbiana. So Carla, what's that album like?
Yeah, so this album Cumbiana has a track list of 10 songs, and he has a lot of featured artists on it. He has Jesse Reyes in the song Hechicera. That's one of my favorites from the album, actually.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He has Alejandro Sanz in the song For Sale, or Como No Se Vende, or a la venta.
Yeah.
He has Ruben Blades in a song that is called Canción para Rubén Blades.
That's big.
Yeah, that's a huge collaboration right there.
Yeah, because Ruben Blades is a salsa icon, and to have Carlos Vives, a cumbia icon, together with a salsa icon in a mixed fusion song, that's great. That's big.
Yeah, and he also has Ziggy Marley
That
in
was
the
big
song
too.
El Hilo. Yeah, that one sounded great. And the thing about this album, I think it was a refreshment for us to hear it, because although it's Carlos Vives, it sounded like a total new Carlos Vives.
Yeah.
Like you still hear his tone, his
signature style.
his
is there.
signature, yeah. But the sound of the music, it's so modern. It had reggae, you can hear vallenato, but also electronic sounds, salsa. But for me, it was the use of synths. Like there was a lot of synths, a lot of new rhythms.
Yeah.
And like mixing those rhythms with traditional music, like that song Hechicera specifically, it makes a lot of electronic because of Jessie Reyes. Although she sings ballads and she says she sings sad songs, for me, I feel like she has a little bit of urban in her.
Yeah.
So in that song Hechicera, it really came through like both styles, and it was like a perfect match. And that song is really good, and the whole album it's like a refreshment in this music environment where everything sounds kind of the same.
Yeah.
It was a good surprise for us to find it. And
I would say I would say it's definitely a good feeling when you hear a familiar voice and style from the past get a good refresh.
Right.
So many times, a lot of these old artists. I mean, we just mentioned Gloria Estefan.
Yeah. No.
That album. I was optimistic for it, but it was trash. It just it sounded like remixes.
And Brazilian rhythms are not that different from what she was doing, so it's not like a reinvention.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was nice to hear Carlos Vives break away a little bit from his traditional sound, but update it and embrace, because they're not changing him. They're just bringing him into this this new vibe. Some things sound a little Afrobeat. Some things sound dance, but a little trippy, a little relaxed.
Like chill vibes.
Chill vibes. Yeah, the Ziggy Marley one's incredible because that's Ziggy Marley doing his thing, and the way that they fuse the two things together, the two styles together, sound perfect.
It's like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't sound forced or anything like that.
That has to be the vibes that they're having with each other, working together. Like that has to come through.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. So the album was released in May 2020. That's when we discovered it, right when it was released.
Ah, all right.
So in an article, it says that the album is a search for indigenous roots of Colombian music.
Nice.
That it sees him at his finest. So since Carlos Vives at his finest, and he says that the album mixes kind of like the artistic side of music with like the popular sounds that we know, but the artistic side because of the fusion, I'm sure, that he made in most of the songs for the album. And he says this album highlights the joy of the fusion of African, European, and indigenous music.
Very cool.
Which, if you listen to the album, I think you can hear it right away.
Yeah, if you hear the whole album, definitely, because it, like Carla said, there's tracks that are straight salsa, straight cumbia, straight vallenato, and then there's some that just start becoming a fusion of things with the reggae and all that stuff that is not just reggaeton. It's a fusion of music and sounds. You feel it. He even has a track that is just electronic, no vocal. And why is Carlos Vives doing that? You know what I mean?
Right.
But it sounds really cool. It's a nice mellow track. The sounds are that Pacifico Caribbean sound.
Yeah.
That not Caribbean, Pacifico coastal sound.
Coastal. Yeah.
That it has like that island vibe, but it's electronic and it's really cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and even the marketing for the album is interesting because they created an Instagram just for the album, and the way that the Instagram is presented is kind of like big images, like tiles, images throughout the album, and then his images for the audio tracks on YouTube are kind of like this, like indigenous kind of like goddess image of like a silhouette of a lady, or like a lady with him, but it looks like that, like an indigenous goddess,
Right.
and then him with her, and kind of like embracing also the nature from Colombia, specifically I'm sure Santa Marta and the coastal areas of Colombia, which I think it was also another point he wanted to make, because he has always been a fighter for people that need the most, and also the environment.
Right.
So I think that was also another point he wanted to make with the album, was kind of like embracing the environment and nature and what we have, and how to take care of it as well. Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, and also, his vibe has always been a positive vibe.
Yeah.
His whole career, like you hear his music and it's always trying to uplift. I don't think if I've heard any sad songs, maybe one or two, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But he stays away. His musical career has always been to stay away from a sad song, a melancholic song, a depressing song, or a slow ballad that is like this sad, depressing thing. He'll sing about love and maybe he'll slow it down, but for the most part, his music is upbeat.
Yeah.
And uplifting.
Yeah.
Always with this upbeat energy. And I think that still really comes across in this music, and I think it works. It's
it's
right
what
now
we need.
Right now it's what we need. Yeah, it's a perfect way to say it. Right now it's what we need. We need that.
Yeah, he also did a live concert on YouTube.
Yep.
It was so cute. He had his youngest kid, his daughter and his son, and they were playing and they were singing, and it was super nice to see him like in that environment, because we kind of see him, although he's always super humble in every performance, every time he's out. I don't know, it's different to see him in his home environment.
Yeah.
And then kind of like seeing how the kids reacted to him, and then we were over here like, who you think you're talking like that? That's Carlos Vives.
Nah, to them they're just dad.
Yeah.
He's just dad.
Yeah.
They don't care.
But that was super cute. And it was super nice to find his new album, surprisingly. Yeah. Another concert that we saw during this quarantine was Fonseca and Juanes.
Yeah.
They had like two concerts like that on YouTube. And they were also a nice surprise to see their matching, combining their singing styles.
Yeah.
Because they're very different. And Fonseca, obviously Juanes is more rock. Fonseca is more like vallenatos and like a little bit more traditional Colombian singing.
Yeah.
So their fusion and the matchups were really good. That was a nice performance too.
Who was now that we're talking about different artists that we've been coming across, who's the Colombian artist, the young girl?
La Muchacha.
Well, La Muchacha is one of them. Yeah, La Muchacha is pretty cool. If you guys haven't checked her out, check her out. I'm sure a lot of people probably don't know about her, but she's called La Muchacha.
Yeah.
She's got cool music. She's like a singer-songwriter. She does her own style with a guitar, and she's usually doing very like, just her with the music, just her and her guitar with her music vibe.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like a street performer kind of vibe.
Yeah.
No, but I was thinking of the other one, the one that does the electronic. Lido.
Oh, Lido Pimienta. Yeah.
Lido Pimienta.
Lido Pimienta. She is from Colombia, but she is living right now in Canada.
She's in Canada. Yeah, she's Canadian Colombian.
Yeah. And her music is actually very interesting because first of all, her voice is very soft in a way.
Yeah.
But at the same time strong. It's weird. but it's soft, it's strong, and the themes that she's singing in her songs are they sound like they're sweet, but if you really listen to the music and listen to the lyrics, you understand what she's trying to say, which is a message of, for example, she has one that says "Eso que tú haces no es amor," and she's singing it so beautifully and so high and so like, "Eso que tú haces no es amor." If you don't know what she's saying, you'll be like, "Oh my God, that sounds so beautiful." But what she's really trying to say is what you're doing is not love. So you. Like, I discovered that what you're doing to me is not loving me. It's actually hurting me. And she also fusions, like Carlos Vives in this album. I feel like her music has a vibe like that, where she fusions traditional music from Colombia with electronics. Her voice is also mixed in the tracks. Yeah, she's very unique. She has a unique look. Her music videos are also very styled in a specific way.
Yeah.
And
her performance style also is very it's artistic. She's really putting on a show. Like she's trying to put on a performance, an act.
Something that is different, totally different from what you've seen before.
So that's
Lido Pimienta.
Pimienta. Somebody that we came across yesterday, Sudan Archives.
Oh yeah.
She's dope.
Sudan Archives.
Sudan Archives. If you guys don't know about her, look her up. Sudan, Sudan Archives. Like archiving stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sudan Archives. Real dope, man. We came across her yesterday. I think our YouTube algorithm is just picking up on all this new stuff because we're digging around.
Yeah.
But she's really cool, man. Sudan Archives. She's got like a mixture of like an urban sound mixed with like an African vibe, classical music, everything. It's got a mixture of all these different things. She plays the violin, so in her videos she'll feature herself playing. But it's not so much to play like a big classical piece. It's more like to play a little sample.
Yeah.
And loop it. Really cool though. If you guys don't know about her, check her out. Sudan Archives. She's really cool.
Yep.
You wanted me to teach you, right? This is street reality.
All right. So we have Hablando Español. After a while.
Do we have some Spanish words to talk about?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. I have some words. So, okay. How do you say violin?
Violin?
Yeah.
Violin.
Oh.
I know how to say that. Come on, that's easy. Come on. Violin is violin.
Yeah. How do you say indigenous?
Indigenous? Oh, that's a good one. Indígena.
Or indígena?
Indígena.
Yes. How do you say
Yes.
European?
European. Europeo.
Yes, Europeo.
Europeo.
And how do you say fusion?
Fusion. I feel like we covered some of these words in the past, but it's been a long time. We're in episode 97, so
You need a refreshment.
we need a refreshment. Fusion. Fusión.
Yes. How do you say mental health?
Mental health. Salud mental.
Yeah.
Salud
I
mental.
thought you were not gonna know.
Come on, man.
Yeah, salud mental. How do you say
Yeah.
single in Spanish?
Single.
As a music single.
Sencillo.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You've been talking about this all these days. Of course, I'm going to know what single
Oh my god.
is. Single is sencillo. Go ahead.
Okay. And how do you say break?
Break as in taking a break?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hear you say break. Tengo que tomar un break. Dame un break. So I don't know how do you say break for real.
It's like basically like tiempo libre.
Tiempo libre, break.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. Tiempo libre.
Yeah. Do you have
Un descanso.
Oh, descanso, yeah.
Descanso is the way I would say it.
Right.
A rest.
Yeah. Do you have any words?
Sure. I got some words. I got choice words for you.
All right.
How do you say commuting?
So before I used to commute in a car. I don't know how you say commuting.
How come I always catch you on these?
Because I've never used the word commuting in Spanish.
Okay, so you looked it up?
Yeah, I looked it up.
So?
And it says viajar diariamente al trabajo. O viajar al trabajo. O desplazarse al trabajo.
I feel like there should already be a better phrase for commuting.
Yeah.
So obviously that's more of an English-speaking
Word.
concept.
Or concept.
You know.
Yeah. Conmutar. Found another one. Conmutar. But this the governor commuted the sentence for... Yeah, that's not the same thing. Okay, so it's viajar diariamente al trabajo. Viajar al trabajo. I don't know.
Traveling every day to work.
Exactly.
Is the
Literal
definition-
translation.
Literal of commuting.
Yeah.
All right. How do you say boardwalk?
Paseo, is it paseo tablado? You're killing me.
So
Okay,
what is it?
lo confirmé. Es paseo tablado o entablado. Y también puede ser el malecón.
Oh, el malecón.
El malecón dice, we spend the afternoon walking up and down the boardwalk along the beach. Pasamos la tarde pasando un lado del malecón junto a la playa. Pero puede ser paseo entablado. Porque eso sí yo he escuchado, paseo tablado.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, because el malecón, so I guess malecón means anything by the water? Any walkway by the water?
Maybe, yeah. That's why malecón, because I've heard in Dominican Republic there's a malecón
Yeah.
by the water.
I've heard malecón for, yeah.
But it's not made out of wood.
Right. But
It's made out of rock.
Right, but it's
But
a
it's by
walkway.
the water, yeah.
All right. Question.
Yeah.
Since this past week, we've been using them a lot. How do you say sunglasses?
Gafas. Gafas oscuras. Dun, dun,
¿No es
dun,
gafas de sol?
para esconder esta locura.
Sunglasses no es gafas de sol?
Nosotros le decimos gafas. Y entonces los espejuelos son los espejuelos. Porque las gafas son las gafas de sol. Los espejuelos
Seriously?
son los espejuelos que usa la
outta
gente que
here.
necesita para leer mejor, para ver mejor. Y las gafas ya es a given. Son gafas de sol.
Wow.
Pero si quieren decir gafas de sol, pueden decir gafas de sol, it's fine. It's the same thing.
Another question. How do you say premiere?
Premier.
Premiere?
Sí.
All right. All right, we made it through another episode, guys. I hope
O
you guys
estreno. Perdón. Okay.
I hope you guys learned some Spanish there in our Hablando Español section.
Yeah.
If you guys have listened to this episode, go back and find out more about Hablando Español. We are on episode 97 right now. We're almost reaching 100. And by now, you should, if you're still listening to us, you should be a loyal fan and you should know exactly what these sections are all about. We're really glad to be recording. We have, I think the next episode we're going to be discussing is this whole process of putting together these videos, all this stuff that we've been doing for you.
Yeah.
You just released your single Una Vez Más.
Yes, it's out there. YouTube, SoundCloud, Carla de Puerto Rico.
Check it out, Carla de Puerto Rico, Una Vez Más. We're going to leave you guys with the audio Una Vez Más of the single. We have 2 more singles coming out, and the official music video was just released now, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. Go check it out. Carla de Puerto Rico, Una Vez Más.
No quiero que se acabe la noche. Quédate, cariño, bailemos una vez más. Quién sabe si te vuelva a ver. Disfrútame ahora, ven. No quiero que se acabe la noche. Quédate, cariño, bailemos una vez más. Quién sabe si te vuelva a ver. Disfrútame ahora, ven. Que no llegue la mañana. contigo me siento yo. Y tus besos me hacen sentir única. Deja esa lucha y vente pa' acá. No quiero que se acabe la noche. Quédate, cariño, bailemos una vez más. Quién sabe si te vuelva a ver. Disfruta mi hora, ven. No quiero que se acabe la noche. Quédate, cariño, bailemos una vez más. Quién sabe si te vuelva a ver. Disfruta mi hora, ven. Quiero que te quedes con ese baile. Y sí, y un poquito, y un poquito suavecito. No me dejes, no seas malito. Y un poquito suavecito, pégate a mí despacito. Y un poquito suavecito, tu cuerpo siente mi ritmo. Y un poquito suavecito, nos quedamos hasta las 5. No quiero que se acabe la noche. Quédate, cariño, bailemos una vez más. Quién sabe si te vuelva a ver.